Welcome to the Silicon Slopes podcast. I'm here with Mark Burton, who's the president of ArmorMax. This is a fun one.
Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Cool. And we have a prop that we'll get to in a second, but tell the listeners and the viewers, what is ArmorMax?
Yeah, so ArmorMax is a company that does bulletproof vehicles. We can armor any type of car that's on the market. And pretty much we provide peace of mind for people that have perceived threats, for people that want additional protection going from A to B. And ArmorMax is a bulletproof car company. So
awesome. And on your website, you have a lot of really cool FAQs that whoever fields those, a lot of interesting questions once somebody realizes what you can do with a car, right?
Right.
And the applications are like fairly obvious for heads of state or folks in the developing or third world country, but here domestically or in Europe or Asia, what are some of the applications that folks here would use that?
Yeah, so here in the United States, it's mostly used for people that are gonna, they're going to an event, maybe they're a famous musician, maybe they're a business owner, maybe they're an NFL athlete. So they're gonna use our product and they're gonna say, hey, when I'm going from the arena or when I'm going from my house to the airport, I need this type of product. So that's one application. Another one is just, hey, people think it's really cool.
Yeah.
People want to have that peace of mind. People want to have the protection. A lot of people, we get a lot of referrals from friends of our clients. Hey, they see it. Hey, I have the money. I want to get this. My friend, my buddy has this. There's a lot of applications for the product.
And so a little bit of the founding story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so ArmorMax was founded with a company called International Armoring Corporation in 1993. So International Armoring was a company and is a company that does a lot of government projects. So at the time, it was just kind of coming up with a name. My dad's the founder and CEO of the company. And it was just trying to come up with a name. Hey, we wanted to be international. And actually had one of our clients name the company. So they thought, hey, International Armoring Corporation. And then, my dad being very entrepreneurial, wanted to come up with a product that kind of would differentiate us between our competitors. So we knew at the time that everyone thought of armored cars as these like big tanks. And we thought, hey, we can do it a little bit differently. And essentially the product he created was called ArmorMax. So it's a lightweight material. It's a composite material that was developed. And then we started getting known as ArmorMax kind of around the world. So we were known as like ArmorMax Nigeria, ArmorMax Thailand, ArmorMax Philippines. So we really started to expand. And then we started another company called ArmorMax as well. So we have both companies. But yeah, ArmorMax was just more of a nice branding to the product. Very easy to roll off the tongue. It was our website.
Yeah.
When we registered the company, we didn't want to have a long website domain. So we had armormax.com, which is, done extremely well for us.
Awesome. And then the business model. Can folks bring in their Land Cruiser, Range Rover, F-150s, and you guys do it for them, or do you buy those and then sell them back to the people? How does the business model work?
Yeah, and the business model is quite unique in a sense that we can armor any car. So we have some clients that will say, hey, I have a 1960s Camaro or a Ford Mustang, and we typically don't do those too often.
Yeah.
We can, but most of our cars that we're doing now are the higher end cars just because it's so expensive to armor these vehicles. So like you mentioned, we'll do a lot of Range Rovers. We'll do a lot of Ford F-150 trucks. We're getting into the tech with Tesla. So we've done a few Teslas. We're really excited about the Cybertruck that's coming out. But yeah, we do BMWs, Mercedes. We do a lot of Sprinter vans, things like that. But really the process is we take any vehicle and then we up armor it and do the conversion. And then we can ship it to the client's door. I mean, we take care of the whole process from shipping to manufacturing. We take their existing car or we buy them a brand new car. So yeah, we're pretty flexible as far as how we just have to have a car to armor it. So
awesome. So I assume it gets disassembled and your various products, which are the windows and the stuff, the ArmorMax stuff that goes in the doors and underneath and everything. So it's completely encapsulated in armor, right?
Right, and it's quite labor intensive. So unless you see it, it's like, oh, I didn't know all that went into it. Even clients that come by is like, oh, this is actually pretty cheap for all the labor and all the materials and things that go into it. But yeah, so the process would be, hey, we get a vehicle, whatever we decide, let's say a Range Rover, and then we bring the car to our factory, and we pretty much take it down to its bare bones. So it's just the engine and the framing. And then we go through and we put in our ArmorMax material in the doors. We do the pillar post. We do the roof. We have bomb protection. We replace all the armored glass. I mean, it's essentially a new car. So we like to tell our clients, like, hey, look, you're going in, just a normal person. You're coming out Captain America type thing. You're a new person, and it's a new car type thing. So
Great.
And it's that cocoon type experience that all of our clients enjoy, because we're armoring every nook and cranny of the car, because you just don't know where you're going to get shot. So whether it's in the back hatch, whether it's through the engine compartment, whether it's through the floor, whatever it is. So we have to armor every single piece of the car so that they can have that cocoon experience.
That would be really fun to watch. How long does it take?
Yeah, not fast enough. I wish we could armor them, just turn them out. But it is pretty labor intensive. So generally we quote about 1,000 to 1,200 man hours for each build. Now we do some builds in 200-300 man hours. We do some that are a little bit longer. But we quote, a couple weeks to a couple months, depending on what we're doing to the car, whether we're just changing our windshield or whether we're doing like a full-on conversion.
Okay. And then there's varying levels of protection, right?
Right.
And it could be handguns and high-powered rifles, and then even some like really high-powered rifles, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So we go all the way from like, hey, you need to stop a 357, what people carry like a 9mm, all the way up to, we can stop a 50 cal. So if people are really worried about getting shot with armor-piercing rounds or 308s and that kind of stuff, we have that type of protection.
Wow. And how much additional weight would, one that could stop a 308, let's say it's a F-150, how much additional weight would be?
Yeah, so on an F-150, you're looking at about adding 16 to 1,800 pounds on something like that. Our lighter packages, where we're just doing handguns, we're going to add about 400 to 450 pounds added weight to the car. So a lot of it depends on how big is the car, but like in a Ford F-150, it's that 1,600 to 1,800 pounds for like armor piercing, like top of the line, 3-inch thick glass, all that kind of stuff. But our most popular here in the United States would be what's called a B6 rating. So it will stop pretty much anything you can put to your shoulder. Your AR-15s, your 7.62 by 51 type rounds.
Awesome. And then this is just a sample of a window?
So this is taken out of a Tesla. So this would be like a quarter piece. So you can see the rebated edge here. Yeah. And then this is the ballistic package on it. And this piece here can stop an AK-47 or not a high-powered rifle, but any rifle on the market.
Very cool. So it's kind of like a la carte.
A la carte, yeah.
What you want.
Yeah. So whether that's run flats or we have, and we can talk about this a little bit later, but we do shocking door handles. We have spikes that drop out of the back of the car. We have strobe lights. We have a smoke screen system that some clients probably get in trouble with, but we add smoke that goes behind the car. So a lot of those type of things, and we'll just get requests from people, hey, I saw James Bond. Can I, be this type of person for just when I hop in my car? Or, they see stuff from the movies and they want to have that replicated for themselves.
How fun is that? Very cool. So it's kind of a Mad Hatter's research and development of these new products and how they actually work with the cars.
Right. So yeah, a lot of testing, a lot of engineering that goes into it. But yeah, some of it's, we've done turrets in vehicles where it's like, hey, what do we do here? And we just try and figure it out. So, I would kind of consider us a manufacturing company, but then, lately we have to be more of an engineering and kind of a tech company as well, just because to be, stay competitive, we have to offer things that are different that no one else has on the market.
Yeah. And then, so you guys are all over the world, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And that would like actual offices around the world. Yep. And how does that process go?
A lot of early morning phone calls, a lot of late night phone calls. I pretty much consider myself an expert with Africa. As much as you can be. I've been there a lot, from anywhere from Nigeria to Kenya to South Africa. We have facilities there. So, the process is we use a lot of technologies like everyone else, from Zoom to WhatsApp, just to communicate with our managing directors and the executives in these different branches. Yeah. And, we're having to adapt because of COVID and things like that. It's harder to fly. So hopefully we have good people on the ground, and hopefully, our supply chain, everything like that can be how we want.
And so the supply chain, the materials, where do they come from?
Mostly in the United States. So we'll prepare kits right here in Utah. We kind of gather all our I mean, we deal with hundreds of vendors. But we'll gather our nuts and bolts, our armor, we'll get our urethanes, glues, I mean, whatever it is that goes into a car. And then we'll kind of get these boxes, these big boxes, and we'll kind of just ship them all over the world. So, but yeah, they'll contain the glass. I mean, pretty much if we were to go to the moon, say, hey, here's your Armoring 101 kit that people can take the pieces out and they get their Lego instructions and then hopefully have a little bit of experience and they can get these parts from us here in the U.S. and then they just assemble them and put them together in their foreign country. So
awesome. And so what was the impact of COVID on supply chain for you guys?
Yeah, so a lot of it's been not only just through getting parts, because we can find or manufacture our own parts. A lot of it's just been with labor. You see these for hiring signs all over.
Everywhere.
Just because it's such a labor-intensive process, it's been very hard to find just skilled talent. So it wasn't only, yes, we had delays here and there with, getting cars. I know there's a backlog with a lot of the dealerships and things with getting certain models. But yeah, a lot of it's just been through, hiring good people, making sure we can deliver in a timely manner. Yeah, we'll get parts here and there. There's been a backlog with like suspension, and things like that. And those things are with COVID, without COVID, those things happen. But yeah, like a lot of companies around, we're always trying to, get the best talent we can for manufacturing.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine and I've said this on several of these, the person in charge of logistics and supply chains had the worst job at whatever company it has been, the last year or so. But they've probably got pretty innovative in how they source things and find new products, and a lot of relationships, I imagine, that were built over the decades previous that call in a favor here or there. All right, so as president of ArmorMax, how do you structure your day and where do you focus your efforts and energy on?
Yeah, and it kind of, what I enjoy about my job is it changes daily. So I kind of have a set schedule. I'm an early riser, so I pretty much every morning get up around 4 in the morning. I go to bed pretty early as well, but I'll kind of wake up, talk with our international teams, whether that's Nigeria or the Philippines. So I'll kind of talk with these different individuals and people that are running our teams there. And then, kind of go for a morning workout, kind of spend some time with the family in the morning a little bit. And then I'll go to the office probably around 8, 9 o'clock sometime in the morning. Then go over our production and what's going on in Utah. Here we have 2 offices in Ogden, and then we have a Salt Lake facility. And then, kind of throughout the day, I generally like to, when I'm freshest, I like to talk with clients early in the morning. Because we have to maintain our current clients, our future clients, and then our past clients.
Yeah.
So I generally like to have, and I'll have kind of themed days. So some days it's like, hey, I'll do marketing that day, or I'll do, website development another day, or shipping and things like that. Just because it mixes it up. It's kind of hard to do mundane things just day after day. But yeah, I kind of like to talk with clients in the morning, and then afternoon I'll kind of meet with the teams, and we'll have just different production meetings and, hey, where are we at with this project, or what are we doing with this, or where are we at with these parts, and kind of stuff like that. So just status updates in the afternoon.
Got it. So a lot of air traffic controlling, but then you're kind of doing every facet of the company. Yeah,
I think as leaders or as executives, you kind of want to touch a lot of different aspects of your company quite often. I found, hey, I focus on this, I can get really good in this area, but then, hey, I need to kind of swoop around and make sure every aspect's getting covered. Because, if you don't focus on it, I know I've talked with a lot of business owners where if you're not kind of constantly going around and checking every aspect of your business, then, hey, sooner or later, hey, things are getting stolen from you, or hey, your accounting's out of whack, or hey, you haven't paid taxes in a while, or whatever. So it's kind of a constant struggle to stay up on a lot of things.
Yeah, not even an armored car will help you with the taxes, right?
That's right.
And so what part of your job do you enjoy the most that gives you the biggest smile?
Yeah, I just really enjoy the process. Whatever company I'm involved in, our family's very entrepreneurial. I just like seeing things be successful. So whether you're flipping homes or doing real estate, or, you're kind of coming up with a new product, it's kind of fun to see it grow from, hey, this wasn't here before I put my hands on it, to, hey, selling it and actually putting it in the market and seeing if people actually are interested in it, or see if there's actually a need for something like that. So really, I get really happy about just, I know it's silly, but making sure, hey, we got a product and we actually had a shipment go out and it arrived safely in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Or, that kind of stuff. And I know it may seem small, but people don't really understand international business all the time. So when I tell my friends, it's like, It's like, hey, I shipped armored glass and I got it in a country, and I had to pay extreme duties and taxes on it, but like I took a product from here in Utah, and then it arrived safely in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So I mean that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Is kind of fun to.
Yeah. All those touch points, boats, docks.
Yeah.
Tariffs.
We've had stuff that was supposed to end up in South Africa ends up in Europe, and I mean these are kind of life sensitive, critical products, and a lot of times. So it's like people are calling, hey, why did it take 2 days to? Well, it got FedEx or DHL got stuck here, and it got stuck in Istanbul and didn't cross over. But yeah, so those type of things. I mean, when it's successful, but we're very like, hey, we did it, and here's move on to the next project. So there's just kind of a daily enjoyment in that aspect of it.
Yeah. So a lot of companies, whether it's software, SaaS, tech, consumer goods, have case studies, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So for you guys, hopefully nothing ever happens.
Right.
But are there some case studies where something has happened, and how did your vehicles perform?
Yeah. So we have over 250 known attacks, which you think about, and we've armored thousands of cars. So, I mean, there's a lot of our cars out there, and generally if people are getting an armored car, they're more likely to get shot at than if they're not in an armored car, just because of the nature of the profile of our clients. But yeah, I mean, we've had case studies from Harvard, from local, from BYU, from local colleges around here in Utah. And, sometimes they look at us and say, hey, good luck with that, with trying just to figure out the whole logistics and custom manufacturing that we do. But yeah, as far as like case studies in the field, I mean, yeah, we do a lot of testing beforehand. We've never lost a client in any one of our vehicles. And it's just because it's the nature of and the technology of what we do. Yeah. We know that these can take multiple rounds. I mean, these cars can get shot at thousands of times without anything penetrating. But yeah, I mean, the most recent one, you probably saw an armored car in South Africa where the guy was being filmed while he was driving and getting shot at. That was pretty popular. I think that had over 50 million views on YouTube.
Oh. There's some free marketing.
Yeah, so things like that where people can kind of see those and like, hey, it's not every day that people are getting shot at in their cars, but like insurance and like a lot of things like that, it's nice to have if you have the means, and if you like driving nice cars and want to get an upgrade, then yeah, we definitely pride ourselves in being the best. So
yeah, so that would probably be the favorite part of my job, is if that happens and somebody calls and says it worked. Yeah, thank you.
Well, what will happen is they'll call and say, is there a warranty on this, or is it free? Like, do I get a, free replacement? So, yeah, I mean, saving lives is great. I mean, no matter what business you're in, we're just kind of in a business that happens. I don't know too many people that are, eating a food or, in building a website or something like, hey, I saved someone's life. But yeah, in our business, it's definitely, we don't want people to get shot at, but if they do, then hopefully they, have a nice parachute and they can land safely and go home to their family. So.
And what is the future for ArmorMax, and what are you most excited about?
Yeah, just I mean, and thanks again for having me on a tech podcast. I mean, it's fun to be here at Silicon Slopes.
Yeah.
But I think the future is just international expansion. There's always new markets internationally that we can go. I mean, whether it's the deep pockets of Uganda, or getting into more places in Asia, or I mean, just wherever there's violence in the world is typically where our product is needed. So yeah, I mean, we're always looking to have new growth in certain areas while maintaining our current facility product and stuff lineup. Where we don't want to like, hey, we're off in Nigeria, and then we lose a market in Ghana, for example.
Yeah.
So we're always looking to have good relationships and be where we're most wanted. I mean, people will call us and say, hey, please come to Puerto Rico and, do all this. And well, Puerto Rico, maybe we'll do 5 cars a year.
Yeah.
So we generally go where not only where we're most wanted, but where there's a demand.
Yeah.
And then where we want to be. There's a large demand in Pakistan, but I don't want to live in Pakistan, or I don't want to, have to send my team into Pakistan. So, there's pros and cons, and there's only so much time in a day, but we're very fortunate that, we have good people running our international facilities.
Yeah, those are interesting problems to solve, and kind of tricky every once in a while from a political perspective. Well, very cool. Yeah, I was happy when we hopped on the phone and was learning about you guys and your company, and I'm glad you're here, and appreciate you taking the time to share the story.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on, and best of luck to you with the Silicon Slopes and the video podcast.
Thank you.